Hello everyone, let's go through what I think of Bonelab. Is it overhyped? Is it not? Is it one of the best VR games ever made? Will it change VR forever? Let's talk about that. So, first things first, I want to say this is a good game. I do enjoy Bonelab. I've been having a lot of fun with the game. I keep feeling myself wanting to play more of it, so there is that element of yes, it is a good game first and foremost, and if you like Boneworks, I would say yes, it is worth your money. Now, I think it's best to start with probably my complaints about Bonelab. I think that is the most important thing, is to talk about the complaints first, get them out of the way so I can talk about what's good about the game. So, first things first, I really don't think melee has improved in the game since Boneworks. Coming off of games like Blade and Sorcery, the melee just feels really unsatisfying to use. It's usable, it's there, it functions, but it's just not nice. There's something to do with there's no haptic feedback or what, I don't know, I'm not sure what it is, but it feels like there's no impact. The weapons don't feel heavy, they feel unwieldy at times. Your hand, you don't really know which one's your dominant hand when it comes to the melee, especially with two-handed weapons. It just feels off. Now, my other main gripe is that they haven't really improved on climbing. If anything, I feel like climbing actually feels more jittery and buggy than it ever has. And again, the game has only just come out, they can definitely improve this, but I'm really hoping it's not a physics engine issue, and it really is just something they can work on, because it is very distracting when you're trying to do puzzles and things like that. Now, there's only one other real big issue I have with the game, and it's not a huge significant one, especially since I did enjoy Boneworks relatively well, and that is that most of the game feels rehashed from Boneworks. A lot of it is going to feel incredibly similar if you've already played Boneworks. The enemies' animations are the same, the sound effects are the same, a lot of the assets are direct pulls from Boneworks, if maybe with a few graphics upgrades. If maybe not even that, I actually think Boneworks in some places looks better. And I think they are my only real issues with the game. Now, let's move on to the positives and what actually the game has in store for you. So first things first, on the pros of the game is fun. There is so many different ways, and it is free-form puzzle solving, so you can explore the game in any way you like. There is a set path, but there are so many different ways to progress in the game, which I think is fantastic. So many different ways of figuring out puzzles, and it really makes each playthrough and each player completely unique in the way that they deal with puzzles. Now, some puzzles may confuse people at first, but I think they are just enough where you can take a little bit of time, use a little bit of brain power, and once you got it down, they're very satisfying to pull off. The combat in the game is enjoyable. The enemies are fun to fight, the projectiles and all that kind of stuff are very entertaining to dodge. The slow motion, while it being buggy, is actually very, very fun, especially when you want to go full Matrix mode, and I really enjoy going all crazy with all the guns. And on the topic of guns feel great. Guns feel just as good as they did in Boneworks. They kept the same weapons in, if not added more, and the actual animations and movement and feeling of the weapons is fine. It feels good. Not quite like a game that is built for guns like Contractors, but it is good, and it is sound, and it is solid. Now, there is something here I want to talk about that is a good and a bad thing, and that is level design. Now, the level design is good in some parts, it's great in some parts, and it is pretty bad in some parts too. Without any spoilers, some of the later levels are frustrating to the max, and before everyone jumps in the comments and says skill issue, because I would, there's a level, everyone knows it, it has a lot of climbing in it, and it's not fun. And I think a lot of people know the level I'm talking about. All I'm going to call it is the Pillar. That's all I need to say. Anyone who's played it knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's not a good level. There is another level that isn't so good either, very open spaces, doesn't really suit for a VR game too much, but it is what it is, and the rest of the levels are very enjoyable. I actually really enjoyed the early game. There was a roller coaster level that was just really, really unique for VR. It felt like playing an old arcade game, but you were in the game, and it was really, really cool. Now, one thing I do have to give props to is I really do enjoy the variety of levels. A lot of the levels feel completely different from one another. One minute you're go-karting, the next minute you're in space. It's great. I really do enjoy the uniqueness of each level, and it really keeps the game fresh as you move through. Now, the biggest hope for this game, and the thing that can bring this game forward above any VR game, is the modding. We all know Blade and Sorcery. We know that game is fantastic due to its modding community. As good as the game is by itself, it would not be anywhere near what it is without the modding community. And I think Bonelab is going to be great on that end. I think it's really going to have a lot of benefits through modding, especially now that the devs are supporting official modding. It's great. There's a whole mod section in the hub to go and explore. There are already 2 mods in the game you can actually go and download that are approved by the devs, and I'm sure there are many more to come, expansions to the campaign and everything, which I think is fantastic. This is what Boneworks needed, is full on mod support. VR games and games in general need to learn that people create mods for a game because they love the game, and the players usually know what's best for the game. They're the people who are playing it day in, day out, and if you're giving people options to create the game and create things for the game and put things into the game that they want to use, that is the most powerful thing you can do for a community, and I think that Bonelab is going to flourish because of modding. Now, one feature I haven't actually spoken on too much is the avatar changing system. You do unlock it later in the game. I won't spoil when, but it is pretty late into the game that you unlock it, and it's fun. It's a unique mechanic. It's not groundbreaking, it's nothing that I thought is incredibly amazing, but it's a fun little mechanic. For it being the main feature of this game, of the new main feature for Bonelab, it's cool. It's not incredible, it was a little overhyped, but it's great. I really do enjoy being able to switch on the fly and mess around with the different body builds and really play your way. You know, if you want to run past enemies and go full Matrix style, jumping over them and shooting them in the head, you can do that. If you want to run around as a tank and just punch the hell out of people, you can do that too. There is no wrong way to play this game unless you just don't play it. Now, let's get into whether you should buy the game or not. If you like Boneworks, yes, 100% buy it. You are going to like this game. If you love Boneworks, you're going to love this game too. It's basically just Boneworks 2.0. Now, if you were not as much of a fan as Boneworks, you are probably not going to like this game. It is basically just, like I said, more Boneworks. And people who really weren't a fan of the first game, your opinion is probably not going to change. So I wouldn't recommend it to those people. If you have never had a chance to play Boneworks and you're on the Quest 2, buy it. It's worth it. It's worth the money. To experience a game like this on a Quest 2, where the only downgrade is the graphics and the physics are just as on point as the PC version, is just, there's no reason not to buy it. You need to get this game. Now, for most people, yes, the price tag is quite hefty. I understand $40 is a lot, and that is why I'm going to be doing a giveaway of 2 copies of Bonelab for this video. So, if anyone does want a chance to win the game on Quest or PC, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment below when you've done it, like the video, and yeah, let's see where that goes. Good luck to everyone. And was Bonelab overhyped? I think a little bit. Just slightly. I think the game suffered from YouTubers throwing out videos saying the game was going to be changing VR forever. It just isn't. It's not going to change VR forever. It's a good game, but it's not revolutionary. It's fun, and I do recommend it. But yes, if you expected some revolutionary, incredible VR game that is going to improve VR forever, I think, unfortunately, yes, you're going to be disappointed. It's not that. It's more Boneworks. It's good. It's very good, but it is more Boneworks. Anyway, guys, that is my opinion on the game. I hope that gave you a good insight if you haven't bought the game already. And if you have bought the game already, let me know if you agree or disagree. Let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comments down below. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys with some more content tomorrow. In a bit.